Me and my friend Sean Paree, who you may know from the My First Million podcast, we hosted a live workshop on delegation and hiring. It was a super insightful podcast. We discussed how we hire, how we attract talent, how we delegate, how we manage other people, and how we build businesses basically without working 80, 90 hours a week, which I think is a really underrated and critical part of all of this that we play. So if you want to learn more about what we're talking about here, you can visit supportshepard.com, which was the sponsor of this workshop. But I hope you enjoy. We're going to play it right now for you. One way to learn how to delegate, and it's actually to practice. And so many people have not practiced. They've never done it. So I'll just say, like, make a hire and do it, because there's really only so much you can learn from listening to us and reading books. You got to actually work it.
Yeah, you want to take this framework and then try to apply it, right? That's the thing. You got to shrink the gap between hearing it and doing it. And so I think that you probably need about 20 hires to end up being any good at it. Let's assume that for a second. Yeah. You're going to think you're good and you're going to try to do good. I'm not saying try to do a bad job, but let's just respect the fact that most things we do in life, we kind of suck at the beginning, and it takes practice reps to get good. And 20 practice reps is not a whole lot, especially with something as complicated as hiring. And so we're going to do that. Now, I actually shrink that down even to an individual job role. So I guess first one point, you're absolutely right. Take action. Be okay with the fact that you're probably going to suck at hiring for the first 20, but let's get those reps in so that you actually get good at this.
Super uncomfortable, super scary, not fun. It's arguably trusting somebody else to come in your business and do some work is one of the most uncomfortable parts of running a business.
Exactly. Now, even within a role, I don't know if you do this, but one thing that works for me is when I'm hiring, I call it writing and rewriting the job description. So I will always write a job description first. I'm surprised when some people don't do this. I don't write it like a generic, Indeed.com job description where like 90% of it is boilerplate and 10% of it is the actual role. I write the actual role, and I'll show you. I'll actually screen share some job descriptions that I think are pretty interesting that I wrote on Twitter. Okay, so here's a job description for the CMO I ended up hiring for my e-commerce brand. So hiring a CMO / head of growth for my D2C brand. Notice I didn't actually know the role I wanted to hire for. Is it a CMO? Mm-hmm. Is it a head of growth? I don't really know. I'm going to throw both out there because my plan was I'm probably going to have to rewrite this job description. In the end, I figured out through the process of interviewing, I need a CMO. And then the next thing I do is try to bait the right person in. So I think about what would attract the perfect person. It's kind of like dating, right?
Something that's already working, a business that's already showing promise. They're not going to necessarily be eating dirt on day one.
The trick to dating is not to find a pickup line, is to make yourself somebody worthy of dating, right? That's the real trick of dating, right? So exactly. So same thing, have a good business, but then explain the types of things that would make somebody want to come work for you. So we're growing really fast. Great. Then what do I think we need? So instead of just saying boilerplate stuff, I tried to describe in plain Jane English what we actually need. We need somebody who's ace at creative, really good at creative and scaling ads on Facebook and Google, plus email and SMS. Then hands-on doer, not just a people manager. So this is another trick. People don't write the anti description. So basically, what do you not want? So for me, I want talking to 2 or 3 people. I realized, oh man, these guys just want to manage other people.
They're messengers. They just pass messages around the company.
I need somebody who's willing to, roll their sleeves up and work and can manage people versus somebody who manages people. And okay, if emergency happens, I'm willing to do some work myself. So I write this and I write fat salary, bonus directly working with me. I didn't actually know what the salary should be, so I just wrote this down here. And then in talking to the first 5 people, I then realized, this is what I want. This is what I need. This is what I don't want. Here's what the salary range should actually be. And I go and rewrite it and I do it again. And so writing and then talking to people and then rewriting the job description is a natural part of the process and will lead to a much higher rate of success. I'll show you one more description. I'll show you 2 quick ones. So we built Milk Road, which was a newsletter. We built it to the largest crypto newsletter in the world in 1 year and sold it. And so I needed to hire a writer. Why? Because it was a pain in the ass to wake up every day and have to send an email that was really good every day at 6 a.m. I just didn't want to do it anymore after, the first 20 days. And so I said, what do I want? I said, well, instead of saying, come write for my newsletter you've never heard of, because we were not that popular at the time, I said, okay, I can't frame this as in my company is so badass, but I'll frame it as in you would become a badass. And so at the time, Packy McCormick and Wait But Why, they were like prolific writers that everybody liked and respected. And so I said, who wants to be the Packy or Wait But Why of crypto? Right. So I made the role sound super appealing because my company, honestly, at the time was not. I said, I'm hiring over here about you. You're into crypto. You write great content. You'd love to make a living doing this. And that's what I kind of learned was the people I wanted to hire, they were people that just wanted to write anyways for fun. And the idea that they could make a living doing this was even better. And
Mm-hmm.
then instead of saying, email me, right? It's like, send me a sample of your recent content. I didn't want to waste time with job interviews. I wanted to just see your writing because I would always rather trade watching you, seeing your actual work versus you trying to tell me how great you are at working.
Yep.
Right. So little things you can steal in the nuances of how to write an effective job description.
So I take two things away from this. I think number one is that a little bit of friction in a job interview process is good, meaning somebody just going on Indeed and spraying and praying job applications to 500 people in an hour. You as an employer, somebody like that applies to your job. Guess what? You're going to have they're very unlikely to show up for the interview. They're not going to really care, and they're not going to need or want your job. You put that little thing in there. I do the 1 minute video. Send me a 1 minute video. Make a little bit of work in the process to make sure that they're serious and they actually want the job. That's a really good bonus.
Oh yeah, we're hiring a sales role right now, and we were like, cool. We're simply going to eliminate everybody who does not follow up because, like, if you're a sales guy and you don't follow up for this job, I don't trust you as a sales guy. Yep. Period. So if you don't immediately follow up once or twice, like, you're out. You've been disqualified. Here's another example: finding an intern. So you said adding friction or sort of repelling certain people away. This is a good example of that. So I said, I'll pay you, but this won't make you rich. It's going to be hard, but you'll learn a lot. Sometimes I'll forget that you're young and you've never done this before. I'll ask you what you think. It's not a pop quiz. And if I say, can you do that? Just say yes and figure out how to do it later. And then I said, I'll push you into the pool, but I won't let you drown. I'll be brutally honest with you. I might be the first person to do that. You'll get 3 years of experience in 1 year. Blah, blah, blah. I don't drink coffee, so don't worry. You'll never have to make one. Right. And this was, again, a unique job description. Why? Because I was like, how do I get a better person versus the average person? Well, if I put out an average job description, I'm going to get an average person. If I put out a slightly more effort, more resonant job description, I'm going to get a better person out of it. So one
thing that I take away from this is that too many business owners, they're going to get an interview and they're just going to talk about all the rosy things of the job. They're going to try to talk that person into being excited and to make it sound amazing. And then as soon as they get in the door, as soon as it gets hard, as soon as it's actual work, these people are like, oh, this is not what I signed up for. What the heck? So it's really not just a sales pitch when you're interviewing people. You're really managing expectations and trying to get people to, know that it's gonna be hard because every job's hard.
Right. What's another kind of key tip or key?
I'll go a little bit more tactical when I'm looking for employees, and I'm from the service business world. First business was a lawn care. My second business was a moving company. I got in the habit of running around daily life with a pocket full of business cards. And I was in, this is a really good story. I was in upstate New York, Ithaca, New York, at a Walmart. It was like 8 p.m. My wife had run in to grab something in the Walmart. I was out in the car and I see this kid, 25 years old. So about my age, actually, at the time, not a kid. He was running through the Walmart parking lot. Running. He was literally in a light jog through the Walmart parking lot. He had one of those reflector vests on and he was running around picking up carts, like hustling, like running. And he's pushing them through. And as he's going by, he like scoops and picks up a piece of trash and jams it in his back pocket. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, I have never seen anybody at Walmart that doesn't walk like 1 mile an hour, doesn't want to be there, super grumpy, doesn't care. So I kind of like walk up to this kid and I'm like, hey, like, why are you trying so hard? Why are you going so fast? He goes, actually, there's a varsity basketball game right now. It's going on over at the high school and that game's going to get out and it's going to be flooded with people. And the cart guy didn't show up and I got to get carts back here right away, or this is going to be a big problem. And something clicked in my head. I was like, holy cow, this guy's making $12 an hour back in 2013 at a Walmart, but he cares about his job. I instantly pulled out a business card and said, hey, and this is my trick. I never really ask directly. I ask a very vague question. Hey, do you know anybody who might want to work for $20 an hour? I run a local moving and storage company. It's a dynamic environment. It's fun. The time goes quick. If you have any friends who work as hard as you do, have them give me a call with this business card. I've done this to bartenders. I've done this to Starbucks baristas. I've done this to a lot of different Chick-fil-A, a Chick-fil-A driver. We ended up, a Chick-fil-A checkout line kid we ended up hiring. But I'm handing them the business card and I'm almost directly, but indirectly soliciting them to work for me. 3 hours later, when the kid got off his shift, he sent me an email. We set up an interview. He ended up being a phenomenal employee for my moving company. He quit his job at Walmart because I could pay him $7 an hour more. And it was amazing. So like nitty gritty tactical gold nugget. Keep a I can call that a gold nugget too. Keep a business card in your back pocket and just be aware. Be aware when you see somebody at their job who cares. They move fast. They have awareness. They have some of these things that, hey, I could teach this person to do anything. Big news, guys. I created a free PDF that details my method on how I analyze a self-storage facility and figure out what it's worth. Give me a pen, the back of a napkin, and a couple metrics, and I can figure out about what the property is going to be worth to me. If you want to download this PDF, click in the show notes, the first link, and you can give me your email address, and you get a email right away with a 4-page PDF that outlines exactly how I think about underwriting or giving my initial analysis on a self-storage facility. Again, click the link in the show notes, and you're going to get that document for free. This episode of Sweaty Startup is brought to you by SupportShepard.com. SHEPHERD. They are a full-service headhunting agency in the Philippines to help you find talent for your service business at 20% of the cost of U.S. equivalents. I've hired 8 employees through Support Shepard. I cannot speak highly enough about how it is revolutionizing my business. This company finds you candidates. They background check them. They do personality tests. They make sure they're a good fit based on your job description. They set up the interviews, and they even help you with the employment contract when you're ready to make the hire. I cannot recommend them enough. Check out SupportShepard.com to learn more.